Hello, my name is Lakaila Tellis. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Illinois. I am the owner of Iconic Voice LLC, which is my company that I educate and train in CPR. I'm a certified CNA instructor as well. I also own, or excuse me, I am the founder of Iconic Nurse Network Outreach, Inc., which is my nonprofit organization, which I teach healthcare to the community. So basically, not just healthcare, but more so, I educate on diabetes and hypertension, strokes, diabetes, so heart diseases and diabetes primarily in the community. I also have a program called Nurse Hopes, which is helping out parents with education and support. So that program is specifically for parents with children that are hospitalized. And we just help as a resource to those parents to answer questions they may have, help them find additional resources within their community, and also to support them in another sense of providing them with just the basic things they may need, such as toiletries, robes, pajamas, deodorant, soap, lotion, basic little things, so they don't have to stress about those small things while they're dealing with something huge caring for their child. So, with all of that being said, today I would like to talk about saying no as a nurse. First off, we learn that our job is to care for people, right? But we also need to care for ourselves. A lot of times, as a nurse, we take an oath to provide the best care, compassionate care with empathy and all. But we get to a point where we forget to say no. We are starting to feel guilty if the unit is short, or if they don't have enough people. We don't want our coworkers to have to take on an extra unit. We don't have to work, or we don't want to see our managers work the floor, things like that. Some of us do have sympathy for our managers and don't want to see them have to work during the day, then come in and work at night, or work night shift or the evening, things like that. And then there are some of us that says, hey, that's what you signed up for. You knew that that was a potential option with your job. But whatever the case may be, we have to learn to say no as well. Again, as nurses, we do a lot, and our job is very demanding emotionally and physically. It is so important for us to get the rest that we need as nurses so that we can work at our full potential. Outside of work, we have a life. We have children. We have pets. We have parents or grandparents. We have significant others. We have a household to also manage and run as well. Now, everybody's situation is not the same, obviously. Your support system may vary, but it's also important to understand there has to be balance, if that really exists, right? So, how do you find that balance? How do you create that balance? It's not the same for everyone. One person can probably carry, a small load. Another person can probably carry a heavier load, but try to figure it out and balance it as far as being there for your family, being there for yourself, and being there for your job. So there's a lot to weigh in on, right? So I just want to share with you there are ways to figure it out. Me personally, I always say this in my lives, in my videos, my interviews. I always talk about being able to multitask, but I call it controlled chaos. And that's kind of how I like it. But at the same time, I do have to stop sometime and rest. There are times where I just take a day off The most I'll probably do is shower and cook. Like, seriously. I don't want to talk on the phone. I just want to lay in my bed, cuddle with my kids. That's it. And that's okay. That's what works for me. If I want to take a breather and just take a break. For some, it's vacations. I love to travel. But since COVID, I have not traveled as much. I feel like me personally, it's my responsibility to be as safe as possible. Although you can get COVID anywhere. So traveling is not um, that great of a difference because I'm exposed to it at work almost all the time. But it's just my personal choice. I just don't want to right now. But anywho, as we were saying, finding pastimes that you like. I've taken on new hobbies now. So now I'm into being crafty and things. So I have a silhouette cameo machine, an Epson printer. I've been watching tons of YouTube videos. Shout out to Katrina Grace, Graceful Creations. I followed her and watched her videos. So now, I'm doing some new things, got new products now. But that's something that just relaxes me. I've learned to customize cups and clothing. But that's something new that I've done. I've also written a book. So let me share that with you. So I am a published author of Excuse Your Excuses. So I started to write. And different things that I chose to do were things that were allowing me, one, to be creative, two, to express myself, three, to not worry or think about unnecessary things or not to stress. It does. It's a great stress reduction. And it gave me something to still occupy my mind. My mind is always going. I'm always thinking. And I'm always busy. And I think that's why I stay physically busy just as much as I stay mentally busy. So learn to say no. It's okay. Granted, we have a responsibility making sure that our patients, clients, residents are taken care of and receiving the best care. But can you honestly say you can give the best care when you're tired, when you're hurting physically, emotionally? Can you give the best care that you would give when you're 100% you and well rested? That's something important to remember. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, but if we're being in all honesty, even 85%, that's pretty good, but it's not your best. And if you do not rest, it's just like, let's say for an example, your phone. Does your phone work the same at 100% as it does when it just barely has 10 or 15%? Can that phone function? And I know we're not phones. I know that it's totally different, but just stay with me and just understand. No, it's not fully powered, so it does not have all of its functionality when it's not fully charged. So we have to recharge. We have to relax. We have to rest so that we can recharge and be at our best and full potential. Another reason to learn to say no is you don't want to experience burnout. And some of us, we experience it and keep going. And that's not healthy for us because then we begin to change our attitudes towards nursing. And that is hard. I've seen so many great nurses change just because they were burnt out and they did not stop. They did not rest. And they become either like known for being the mean nurse, the angry nurse, the petty nurse, or things like that. And I know you have worked with a nurse that you're like, oh my gosh, just retire. If you don't like your job, quit showing up. I'm sure you work with someone like that. But that's a horrible feeling as well. So I don't know for sure if that nurse or type of nurse recognizes what they're going through or what they're giving out But I personally, I don't want to become that nurse. I've been a nurse for 21 years and I am aware of how I feel, what I like, what I don't like, where I feel comfortable, where I don't feel comfortable. So it's so important to listen to your body, listen to your mind, and just know. I'll give you an example. I worked at a facility as an agency nurse. I was working at a facility that stressed me out so bad that when I was getting ready to go to work, I kept getting anxiety attacks and panic attacks. I did not realize that initially, but I legit was like nervous, and I only worked there part time, like only like two to 3 days a week. That's it. I don't even think I would do 3 days, maybe just 2 days. And each time I had to work at this place, it was just I was on edge. My body, my whole balance and homeostasis was just thrown off completely. So what ended up happening, I stopped going to that place. I started working other facilities. And it's been a few months, maybe a year now, since I've been to that facility. And I'm just not realizing what was happening. I knew I was having this panic attack and all this anxiety, but I thought it was something just going on with me because I'm getting older. I just turned 40 this year. Yes, actually, less than a month ago, a couple weeks ago. But anywho, oh no, it's almost a month. Well, anyway, I realized that job was crazy. It was crazy, stressing me out, the energy, which I still kept going to that job, even though I had all this anxiety and anxiousness. But looking back today, I'm like, wow, I was really hurting myself. That was not good for me. And I would not go back to that place. And it's so unfortunate because I mean, I liked it, but obviously it didn't like me. um, but that's a reason to say no. That is a darn good reason. If you don't feel comfortable, if you feel that anxious, why go back? And that was a lesson learned for me because I had never experienced it. I've always had like a little fear when I go to a new facility, although, again, since I've been a nurse for so long, I've worked agency for quite a while, off and on, but I'm used to basically starting new jobs and I'm okay with that. But that took a toll on me, and I haven't felt that way since, and I thank God for that. Um, but I just wanted to share just a couple of things. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Um, but that's so major. Learn to say no. Don't feel guilty. You have to take care of yourself as a nurse. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing. And remember, you're setting an example. You're setting an example for your family. You're setting an example for other nurses amongst you. We have to show that we have to take care of ourselves. Point blank, period. We also need to show that we need more staff. We should not be overwhelmed how we are. They keep saying it's a shortage of nursing. I don't really believe that to be true, which that's my own personal opinion. I just feel that it's just a shortage of nurses working for companies. Again, I'm an agency nurse. I see lots of agency nurses, and we're traveling to different facilities and we're filling up those facilities. So there's a difference. So just because you don't have staff working for you, don't say you don't have enough nurses in this world to cover the shifts. It's reasons why some of these places, one, cannot keep staff, and two, why people just don't want to work for those companies. It's probably word of mouth, something that was said. People want more flexibility. We live in a different world today. So the workplace is changing and it's going to keep changing. And it has changed. I know it's changed so much over the years. I've been a nurse. I've watched, places go from being 5 stars or less to less. But anywho, I want to say thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it was helpful. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please add them down below. And if there's anything else that you want to know, please make sure that you just comment below. I do respond. So again, I thank you, and don't forget to share with your other nurse friends. Okay, this is great information, and there is more to come. Thank you.